6 people shot during Halloween party last night.
Multiple people injured in large car crash.
The Texas Rangers are one win away from being World Series champions.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Trey Francis.
And I'm Drew Maurer. The Dallas Police Department needs assistance in identifying a suspect in a deadly shooting on Tuesday. The incident occurred around 10 p.m. when the suspect, who was in a vehicle, shot a male victim near Casnet Drive. The suspect fled. The victim was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. If you or anyone you know have any information on the suspect or the incident, please contact Detective Andrea Esom at 214-671-3701 or email andrea.esom@dallaspolice.gov. A Halloween party had a deadly ending at a home in Lake Charles, Louisiana late Saturday night. Police arrived on the scene to find 6 teens wounded by gunshot. CNN's Morgan Babineau has all the details.
A Halloween party led to shots fired Saturday night.
Last night around midnight, the Sheriff's Office received a call of a large disturbance at 464 Bruce Drive in Lake Charles.
Sheriff-elect Stitch Guillory says it's believed that sometime before that midnight call, the suspect arrived with a gun and began shooting.
Our deputies learned that there was 6 victims that were shot. Out of the 6 victims, 4 of them were juveniles.
The victims' ages range between 15 and 19 years old. 5 of them were rushed to Lake Charles Memorial Hospital, while 1 had more severe injuries and had to be airlifted to Lafayette General. Many are now left wondering if any adults were present at this party.
It's my understanding that some adults were present. They had chaperones there. From what I understand, but you know, that many kids at a house party, it's almost impossible to chaperone that.
Guillory could not confirm if alcohol was present at the scene. We've been in contact with a parent, Kayla Snyder, who tells us her child really wanted to attend the party. She told 7 News, quote, "I just know that it is sad whenever children can no longer be children without the fear of things like this happening. My daughter begged to go. Now I am just grateful she didn't. Even the ones not injured will be traumatized by the shooting. It is heartbreaking. As a parent, my heart hurts for the ones who got the call in the middle of the night." As the investigation continues, the Sheriff's Office says they are working to get answers to the impacted families as quickly as possible.
We're asking for the help of the community. You know, this was a senseless act of violence. It shouldn't have never happened. Because of this, we've got 6 families that are impacted. So we're asking for help from the public. Our community is better than this. We deserve to give these victims justice.
Authorities say a 17-year-old has been taken into custody in connection with the shooting.
President Joe Biden announced his plans for the next Deputy Secretary of State. He plans to nominate Kirk Campbell, who has served as the Deputy Assistant to the President and Coordinator for Indo-Pacific Affairs on the National Security Council. That role has been instrumental for the administration. And this nomination would make Campbell the number 2 position in the State Department. Well, Drew, it sure was a cold Halloween, and I sure was freezing in my Halloween costume last night.
Well, lucky for me, I was in the comfort of my home watching the Rangers batting practice. Game 4. Grace Grimes has our first look at weather.
Thanks, guys. So even though we have all been asking for cold weather, Drew said earlier he's already tired of it, but we're still going to have a chilly day outside today. Our current temperature is 45 degrees, but because of the 7-mile-per-hour wind speed, it's going to feel like 44. We are going to have a really nice day outside, though. On to tonight's conditions. So tonight we are going to have clear skies. The actual temperature is going to be 53, so it's going to be a little bit warmer, but it will feel like 51. We're going to have 8-mile-per-hour wind speeds tonight. On to tomorrow's conditions. So tomorrow it is going to heat up just a little bit more. It's going to be a nice sunny day outside with a temperature of 54. It is going to feel like 52 because of those 10-mile-per-hour wind speeds. That's all I have for the current weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. Authorities say multiple people were hospitalized last night after a major crash in West Harris County. A Department of Public Safety officer was on his way to a chase in the Katy area when he was hit by an 18-wheeler. Dashcam footage shows the impact occurring on Merchants Way at Mason Road. The trooper was able to get out of his vehicle on his own. The officer is now recovering, and DPS Public Relations say he is expected to survive from his injuries.
A police officer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was involved in a deadly crash while en route to a shooting incident and is now facing charges. This occurred nearly 2 weeks ago. CNN's Bess Casserly has more information about what happened at the scene.
Just a horrible accident. Surely no intent to do any harm or hurt another person. It's one of those things that are extremely unfortunate.
Baton Rouge District Attorney Hiller Moore went out to the scene at Government and South Foster 2 Fridays ago, an 8-car wreck involving a police officer. He was there when Officer Shermaine Buckley learned the person in the car she had hit died.
She was very emotional that happened.
38-year-old Caleb Chapetta had the green light when Buckley went through the intersection at nearly 80 miles an hour. The impact of the crash so great, the engine was thrown from the hood of his car. Buckley and another officer riding with her were both injured in the crash and taken to a hospital that night. The other officer remained hospitalized for days. Though Buckley had her lights and sirens on, the criminal charges stem from the fact that she did not attempt to stop or slow down before running the red light.
So although policemen are allowed to chase people as long as their cars are marked and their lights and sirens, they still have to use due regard for the safety of others. So you just can't run a red light and be safe. You have to slow down, stop, whatever's appropriate, and then proceed on through the red light once you know that it's safe.
The bond has been set at $16,000.
Stay tuned for some scary facts right here in our hometown of Denton.
And find out about a beloved beer making its return to the shelves.
That's good.
My bike is gone.
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
If you have a savings account, you could be getting more money from your bank than you are right now. According to a study done by Santander US, many banks are offering savings accounts with interest rates of 5% and above, but customers aren't taking advantage of them. Researchers say about 1/5 of Americans with savings accounts don't even know how much interest they're accumulating. Those who know say they're getting less than 3%. Financial experts have said savings accounts are as important as ever and say you should aim to have savings to cover at least 3 months of income. Halloween might have been yesterday, but that does not stop the many things from happening here in Denton that are all eerie and creepy.
Yes, our live reporter Carla Castillo is live from one of the many spooky locations. Carla?
Is out in the cold, and unfortunately she's having some issues there, so we're gonna go ahead and get a full look at weather. I mean, she's freezing out there, so clearly we gotta see what's going on.
Yes, let's take it over to Grace Grimes and see what all weather we have this week.
Thanks, guys. So they're right. It has been cooling down in North Texas. In Denton, we have a temperature of 45. Gainesville, we have a temperature of 45. Over in McKinney is 46, and over in Sulphur Springs is also 46. So all across North Texas, we're pretty much in the mid-40s. Onto the regional map. So across Texas, we're still in those 40s and 50s. In Abilene, we have 51. Amarillo, we have 51. Down in Houston, we have a temperature of 56. And Oklahoma City is the coldest with a temperature of 43. On to the 7-day forecast. So for the 7-day forecast, we are going to have a nice week this week. There isn't any precipitation in the forecast yet. All of our highs are going to be in the 50s, and on Monday, our highest high is going to be 78, so we have those nice fall temperatures. Our lows are going to be a little chilly. Tomorrow, we're supposed to have a low of 36, but throughout the week, those lows get a little bit warmer. That's all I have for today's weather. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Grace. Well, I don't know about you, Trey, but I'm dying to hear about all the eerie places that we can go in here in Denton.
Yes, I know that Carla's out there at a spooky location right now, so let's go out and see if we can see what's going on out there. Carla?
Thanks, guys. I'm currently here at Gomez Bridge, one of the many eerie locations here in Denton. And Denton is a pretty old city and home of 2 universities, so you know there's going to be a lot of ghost and eerie legends around. Now, where I'm actually standing has a very interesting story, as it was when a black dairy merchant, Oscar Washburn, hung a sign reading "This way to Goatman's" to help his customers locate him. The KKK attempted to hang Washburn, only to find that the news was empty and he was nowhere to be found. Now, you can summon these ghouls by knocking 3 times on the bridge or honking from your car 3 times. Other spooky locations in Denton are the Emily Flowers Central Library, in which is believed that the librarian that the library was named after still lives there. And lastly, we cannot forget about UNT's Bruce Hall, as it has the tale of Wanda, the ghost who lives on the 4th floor. But guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of spooked out right now, so I'm gonna try to leave as soon as possible. But this is all I have for you guys. Let's go back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Carla. I hope you weren't too cold out there. Utopia's a beer from Samuel Adams. It's making its way back after being released in 2001. The drink is 28% alcohol by volume, which means it cannot be sold in 15 states. Experts say it's comparable to a cognac or a port rather than a beer. These drinks are usually served at room temperature and in small servings. There are new batches that drop every 2 years, and the retail price is $240 for a 24-ounce bottle. Out of the 35 states who are able to sell it, they will only be sold at specialty liquor stores.
Catch up on all the legal drama as Tinder and Google settle an antitrust lawsuit.
And learn more about the mental health resources available to anyone in Denton County.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Online dating giant Match Group has swiped right and settled their antitrust lawsuit against the Google App Store. Match Group, which owns Tinder and Hinge, reached a settlement just days before trial. They allege that Google harmed competition through its App Store terms and payment channels. Under the settlement, Google will now support Match Group's payment plans as well as its own. Now, Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, are playing solos as they become the lone plaintiff in the case against Google. Now, with everything happening around the world, it's really important that we stay mentally and physically healthy. Local and national organizations are working to make that more possible.
Yes, our segment anchor, Madeline McCrory, has our Health Minute. Madeline?
The Denton County MHMR is the local authority on mental health, substance use, and intellectual and development disability services. I spoke to Jennifer Meyer, the Senior Director of Clinical Services and a licensed professional counselor and supervisor at the MHMR, about the variety of services they provide to people throughout Denton County, including college students attending UNT. Take a look. The MHMR is a local, nonprofit community center that provides care to people in Denton County. The MHMR provides mental health, substance use, and intellectual and development disabilities services. To receive mental health and crisis services, walk-ins and same-day access to intakes is available Monday through Friday in Denton and in Flower Mound. Receiving the services for individuals with intellectual and development disabilities may involve a wait list. The cost of all of these services depends on the individual's circumstances.
When an individual comes in, we do a fee assessment, but I would say the majority of our services are free or at very low cost to individuals, depending on their financial situation.
The MHMR works alongside UNT counselors to help students.
We do have individuals that can come to the community and meet with students. They're available 24 hours, 7 days a week to try to provide those immediate crisis services.
To help more individuals, the MHMR wants to get the word out there about what they provide.
The most important thing for college students to know is just to be aware of the resources.
To learn more about these services, go to www.dentonmhmr.org. For the crisis hotline, call 1-800-762-0157 or dial 988. As the MHMR provides many resources to improve the lives of people in Denton County, the American Cancer Society's new guidelines for lung cancer screening is working to lengthen life expectancy. It's the leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. But today, the American Cancer Society released new guidelines for lung cancer screenings. The organization is recommending nearly 5 million more adults who smoke or used to smoke to be tested. In today's Health Minute, CNN's Mandy Gaither has a look at the updated guidance.
It's a potentially deadly disease. Lung cancer kills more people in the U.S. than colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined, but early detection can save lives.
Only about 5% of those that are eligible for lung cancer screening actually are being screened.
Previously, the recommendation was for anyone between the ages of 50 to 80 with at least a 20-pack per year smoking history who currently smoke cigarettes or quit within the past 15 years to be screened annually for lung cancer. But the American Cancer Society is now advising doctors to remove that time since quit criteria.
What we found was that while there was initially sort of a decrease or leveling of risk of lung cancer, as a patient ages, the risk of lung cancer increases significantly.
Dr. William Dayhut says this update will make it easier to know who should be screened for lung cancer.
People don't have to sort of calculate when someone quits smoking. And by changing our guidelines, we're actually going to increase the number of eligible patients by about 37%. And which means by about 5 million more Americans will now be eligible for lung cancer screening.
The screening is a quick low-dose CT scan of the chest, since coverage is largely driven by screening recommendations from the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, and that agency has not currently adopted this update. Insurance may or may not cover lung cancer screenings based on this updated ACS guideline, but Dayhut hopes that will change.
We're hopeful that once our guidelines are in place, people will look at the value of that.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American Cancer Society says if lung cancer is found early, the chances of being cured are much higher. And there are new drugs and treatments that can help improve chance of survival as well. That's all I have here. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Madeline. Well, Trey, I know the Rangers were on until about 10:30 last night, kind of late, but wake up, it's the first of the month.
Yes, Drew. I was definitely up late watching the game, and I hope tonight's game does not go that late. But let's see what our sports anchor, Gabby Pibbins, has to say about the game tonight. Gabby?
Well, guys, all I know is that there were no fouls in Texas over the last week of sports. We'll discuss how well our Rangers, Cowboys, and Mavs are performing right after this.
What's wrong? Are you stuck in your paper?
Pretty much. I haven't written anything in like an hour.
Why don't you check out the Writing Center at UNT?
Well, how do I meet up with them?
All you have to do to make an appointment is visit the Writing Center's website and either call the number or email writingcenter@unt.edu. The appointment is 30 minutes long, and the trained tutors will be able to help with brainstorming, correcting grammar, ensuring clarity, and a wide range of services. They also do walk-in appointments.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna check them out.
So, when's this paper due?
30 minutes.
For more information, visit the UNT Writing Center's website.
Yeah, it's 6 pages.
Are you behind on your credit hours? Got more time on your hands this winter? Then you need to sign up for winter sessions. Do not delay, sign up today. Visit registration.unt.edu/winter session for more information or see your advisor.
The Texas Rangers are now leading the MLB World Series 3-1 after their stunning performance last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks on the road. Fans were worried for this game with Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer out for the rest of the series, but it was no problem for the Rangers. Marcus Semien had a stellar performance with 5 RBIs, a 2-run triple, and a 3-run home run. Corey Seager also shined with another crucial 2-run home run, his 3rd in the World Series. This was such a historic night for Texas as Seager became the first shortstop to hit 3 home runs in a single World Series. The team also broke a number of records, including having the most runs scored in a World Series game and being the only team in the World Series to score at least 5 runs in 2 innings. And the Dallas Cowboys returned from their bye week Sunday to face the Los Angeles Rams. And fans were also worried about this one since the Rams are a Super Bowl winning team, but it didn't faze Dallas one bit. The game did start off rocky with 3 consecutive sacks from Aaron Donald, but Dallas bounced back with an almost immediate touchdown and field goal. The Cowboys defense was on fire again, with Deron Bland getting a 30-yard pick six to close the quarter and a blocked punt for a safety to open the second quarter. Dak Prescott connected with CeeDee Lamb twice for 2 touchdowns with barely any answer from Los Angeles for an amazing Dallas win, 43-20. And finally, the NBA season is in full swing, and the Dallas Mavericks are currently 3-0. They took on the Brooklyn Nets Friday for the first time since the Kyrie Irving trade, and this game was truly neck and neck. Dallas led at the end of the first quarter, but the Nets took the lead in the second and third quarters, and it all came down to the fourth. Both teams were tied at 120 with only 26.3 seconds left in the game, and Luka Doncic used his Luka magic for a crazy three-pointer that put the Mavs ahead at 123. The lead was increased with 2 free throws by Josh Green, and Dallas won 125-120. Luka finished with 49 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists, and former net Kyrie Irving ended with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, I know the Rangers were on, but last night was Halloween after all. So naturally, many jumped on the opportunity to watch a spooky movie. And one popular video game came to life in the theaters this past weekend, in more ways than one. CNN's Rick Damigella takes a look at Five Nights at Freddy's.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life.
That is, unless you are the new night security guard trying to survive 5 nights at Freddy's.
We're going to have so much fun together.
The film is based on the popular video game franchise.
The fans were like first and foremost in our minds in terms of audience and wanting to make sure that this really landed for them. But we also wanted to make it a film that worked in its own right.
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy.
The murderous animatronics from the game were brought to vivid, scary life for the film.
We wanted them to be as practical and tactile as possible. And what was so great about that was, you know, the actor's ability to have like a completely fully realized interaction with them. There wasn't much left to the imagination. So they were able in real time to, you know, have a live experience with them.
Ghost children possessing giant robots.
We built them with Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and the design process was intensive, and we were, of course, referencing the animatronic designs from the game, and then, you know, bringing them to life in a whole new 3-dimensional way.
He's coming.
Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Well, Trey, I got a chance to watch Five Nights at Freddy's last night, and I gotta tell you, 12-year-old me would have been so jealous.
Yeah, Drew, I haven't gotten the opportunity to watch it, so please don't spoil it this time.
Well, one last question for you, Trey. Who's your favorite?
Oh, That's a tough one. I don't even have one, Drew. I really don't.
I think mine's got to be Freddie. I think he's the classic. He's the classic, face of the franchise.
All right, the classic.
Like Chuck E. Cheese. That's right.
That's it.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.